comes, I'm going to cut. And all I'm going to do now is step in and do a downward X. That's the next one that I want you to do. Very basic right now. Okay? So I cut the limb, downward X. Cut the limb, downward X. Cutting the limb, downward X. Cutting the limb, downward X. Cutting the limb, downward X. That's all I want you to do right now. So what I'm doing here, in reality, that would cut, he'd drop the blade, and then I would have, now let's say he punches. That's fine. Let's say I cut the limb and he drops the blade, and he kicks. Beautiful. You with me? So it's whatever comes back in, or he drops the blade, and I have to finish this thing whatever way I feel fit to. But really, we're learning to maneuver the blade, to stroke the blade. So 1, downward X. 2, downward X. Now, real quick, let's fix this because we are on a time limit. He wasn't joking about that. So I cut. If the knife comes high, I go low. Got it? If the knife goes low, I go high. A lot of people will try to do this one. You have a structural problem, don't we? So what I do is I hollow my body out and I cut high to clear that weapon. So 1, now watch my sway back. It's back and forward. From here, I sway back for the cut, so to maintain what? This. But then watch what I do. I go in for the kill. So you gotta have the hips do 2 things. What are they? They twist and press. You with me? My hips twist and press. Do you follow me? So cut the limb, downward X. Deep shot. Right here. Okay? You never ever do. Can I have a stick? Is there a collie stick in there? Right here. Collie stick. Watch. You never do this. Number 1 mistake. Looks pretty though. You learn that crap as a kid. It looks great. I'm doing this. I just want you to barely just slap the back of my hand. You gotta get in there fast though. So you have to be able to maneuver that stick without taking your hands off of it. Now, this is the trick though. When I cut down, I loosen my last 2 fingers. Do you see the movement now? So now, that added snap. I do this for hours sometimes with a weighted stick. You just work on forms. So when I cut with the knife, I loosen my last 2 fingers. And it snap. You see, you gotta see the motion. You see the motion? Yeah. I don't take it off. I loosen them. And then I tighten. Look, loose, tight. Everybody do this. So, loose to tight. Yeah. That will add snap to the cut. A knife can do 5 things. What is it? What can a knife do? Cut. It can cut. That's 1. Okay? It can thrust. That's 2. It can tear. That's 3. It can punch. It can hack. That's 4. And you can hit with the punyo. That's 5. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Same thing with the stick. I can cut. With me? I can hack. Throw a punch. I can hack. I can hack with it. Right? I can tear with it. Right? Okay? And the knife, I can hit with the punyo with it. Do you follow?
Sir.
Okay? So, that's a great stick, by the way. All right, so, watch. 1, downward X. Do you remember the looseness? They're snap cuts, all of them. And that's how I'm getting the speed to it. Try that one. Go. Basically, what basically happened was there was 3 guys, an incident happened, and I said, y'all need to go out, you need to go ahead and leave or something. And he goes, no, we need to go ahead and go outside. And I said, well, it's just you 3? Go ahead and grab some friends. And I turned around. It sounded like a shotgun went off in my ear. I thought he punched me in my ear. I turned back around, and he backs up. He turns white as that dry erase board. I thought he turned white because he saw this tough damn. He saw this tough damn guy fixing to whip up on him. No, he turned white because he saw my cheek here and blood shooting out, and I was still standing. So because everybody heard the explosion that happened on my face, the other bouncers came, and I turned around, I thought he punched me in my ear. I couldn't hear out of his ear. And I turned around, and I flipped that switch, and I started walking forward. They grabbed his arm. As soon as they grabbed his arm, I sprinted for him and climbed up on him and hit him with like 3 elbows till they pulled me off. My good longtime friend Jeff Heath was there. He's the one that pulled me off. He goes, "Let's go to the hospital now." And I said, "He doesn't need a hospital yet, but he's about to." He goes, "No, you do." And I look around and people are taking their shirts off because they're covered in my blood. I didn't know I was cut. I thought I was hit. A knife, when it hits, it makes impact and cuts. People don't get that. It will break and cut bone. A good thick blade will. So keep that in mind, the damage we're doing. That's why, just like when we throw punches, we flip up at the end and we flip it, we tighten up everything at the end of the punch. We're loose. Same thing with the knife. You should be loose until the very end, and then you give it, hold it like you love it, because if you lose it, you may not have no chance with it. It's sort of like relationships, right? Hold it like you love it. Watch. Now, I'm going to cut the limb. This is a double cut. So before I was doing what we call meet the force. This is called meeting the force. I'm just cutting. I'm meeting, not like Luke. I'm meeting the incoming blow of the weapon. Meeting the incoming blow. Meeting the force. Meeting the force. Meeting the force. Beautiful. Now, watch. What did I do?
Twice.
That's right.
Twice.
So I met the force and followed the force. Same cut. So he gives me 1, I cut. Now, watch. He gives me number 2, I cut. He gives me number 3, I'm going to either meet it or follow it. It doesn't matter, but I do a double cut. Are you following me? Every time's a double cut. Give it a shot. This is where it gets scary. You know, people ask me sometimes, why do you train blades so much? Every time they see me, I have a blade in my hand. You know why I train so much? Because I'm scared to death of it. Scared to death of it. At this point in my life, I'm pretty self-sufficient with any fist, any kick. I'm pretty sure of myself. I'm pretty sure that I can handle that. A blade, you never know what's going to happen. You never know. I'm scared of it. Nightmare stuff. So I want to get as good as I can with it. I want to understand every possible mechanics of it. And a blade maneuvers in more lines than any punch or kick. That's why my boxers are my MMA fighters. Jay's one of my MMA fighters. I put a stick and knife in their hand because it brings out attributes that punches and kicking just doesn't do. Does that make sense? Okay? So, I'm going to train middle range. You know, I always tell people I write articles frequently for different people. I wrote an article for Seafood Brian. I need to post that. It was a great article he put on his website. But one of my articles is how you get good at the martial arts. My ways to get good at the martial arts. This is the ones that I put. Number 1, train the shit you don't like to do. Train it a lot. I hate ground fighting. Hate it with a passion. I hate it. I'm like, if I go to ground, I'll stab him. That's my mentality. If I couldn't, yeah, that's it. But yeah, we train it every week. I train it. I'm like, I cringe when I do it. I'm getting, I'm pretty good at it. I can hold my own on the ground. Plus, tomorrow I'm going to show you some ways that I cheat on the ground, which you guys will love in the Tour Tactics program. But I hate the jiu-jitsu type of rolling, but I do it. I cringe, but I do it. Do the crap you don't like to do. Number 2, refine the stuff you love. Sometimes we get so complacent, we love something so much that we forget to make it better. Does that make sense? You get good at it. Some people are just natural, kickers. I mean, I've seen people in my Taekwondo career. I mean, it's just 540s, and I'll never be able to do a 540. I couldn't do a 540 back in my prime, much less now, right? And I'm like, oh, wow. But then they get so complacent, they go to spar and they get their butts kicked. And you're like, well, where's that 540 at, big boy? You get what I'm saying? Refine the stuff you love to do. Train the stuff you hate. Work on it more than anything. Refine the stuff you love. So now we're going to go into middle range. I would never want to go to middle range in a fight, in a knife fight. I never would. And the one time I've had to use my blade, that's where it was middle and close. So it's just going to happen that way. So, number one comes, I cut the hand. I missed it. He's wearing a thick jacket. I didn't get a deep cut. He's on a lot of drugs, and I didn't cut the tendons responsible for holding the limb. Could be a lot of things. Point is, that knife didn't come out. So he gives me number 2. 1. Number 2. Number 1. Number 2. You remember the Band-Aid Master Willow was talking about? Okay, now watch my method of doing it. I bone. I never use muscle like a lot of YouTube collie guys. Oh, they love the muscle. Thrust. You see that? You see? All muscle. He pulls off that muscle's cut, you're done. And then every now and then you see the collie guys go. He pulls off. You're like, what the heck? You gonna really need a Band-Aid, dude. Master Willow told me a long time ago, he goes, a block isn't a block, it's a hit. So I use that blood. If you don't believe me, you see this big scar? Well, you have to come see it later on. There's a big scar right here. It only cut down to the bone. It ain't gonna cut no deeper. This ain't a damn machete you're blocking. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I do the Band-Aid, I love it, and I'll give Master Willow credit for that. When I do the Band-Aid, I curve my hand in, and this little hook of the bone traps it. He cannot slide it out. Do you see it? It's a natural hook. Now watch why else I do it. Give me. Do you see it? I would have to bend my mount. Now I did the same technique with the blade. So watch. Number 1. Number 2. I hit the brachial plex. I turn it and I pat it. Number 1. Number 2. Brachial plex. Do you follow? Sure. You see this? Learn to fight like this. Learn. This is your position. Those traditional stances you learn, this is when they work. Do you follow me? Okay? So that's the next one I want you to do. I want you to cut. Brachial plex, turn, pull it out. That's going to kill the whole arm. I don't have to kill him. I'm going to kill the arm. Watch again. Slow motion. See, if that was a blade, see, so why change the motion of the hand? Okay. And we'll get to some of that in a second. All right, can you imagine? So what my point is, get with a good instructor that's open-minded. And you can tell if they're open-minded. You know, I'm not taking nothing from the MMA schools. I'm not taking nothing from them. And I have colleagues that have went that route. And I wish them the best luck in the world. But if you're looking to survive a street attack, that's not where it's at. You want a school that's kept the martial part into it. The yes sirs, the no sirs. I care less if you call me yes sir, no sir, seafood guru, master, whatever. But I want you to do it anyway, and I'll do it back to you because you know what? It takes us out of the norm. It makes us different from everybody else. That alone adds discipline to your life. Do you follow me? Yes, sir. Watch. I cut. He gives me number 2. I cover. This is in the Filipino martial arts. This is called covering. That's what they call this. Whether it's here, it's called covering. Whereas this is called checking. Okay. A lot of times you'll see people check. I don't like checking. You'll also see palm. You'll see palm up checking. I don't like checking, and I don't do it much because it's still in play. I cover it. Does that make sense? I put a covering over it to the body. And then I kill it. Cover it, kill it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay? So watch. Number 1 comes. I cover and thrust. Now the thumb is there. There's a great pressure point. Look at this. Immediately. Who wants to feel it real quick?
Want to eat a knife?
Come here. All right, you ready?
Sir.
All right, ready?
That's bad.
Yeah, come on. You're kind of too big for me to do this on me. Grab that knife like you don't want me to take it from you. Ready? Oh my God! Ready? All right, so watch. Every time I grab the thumb, I dig my finger. I want that hand to be as loose as possible when I try to eject that knife. Disarms are incidental if not accidental. What's going to make the disarm happen? Hitting him. What's going to make a lock happen? And you guys that have worked in the security field and my cops, I'm telling you right now, if you haven't had that experience yet, I know I have he's been a student of mine for a long time, but he's a Murfreesboro police officer now. He's going through the academy, so give him a big hand. I'm very proud of him. And I'm glad to have you with the student. You're not going to be able to lock a guy that's resisting, bottom line. Because you hit him first. That's how you lock a guy. You hit him first. Okay? So to disarm a knife, you're short-circuiting somehow. So the brachial plex will probably be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. The thumb's there. I bring it up in front of my chest. A lot of people make a mistake of keeping it low and they try to disarm. It's too low to do it. Plus, watch. Pull it back. Pull it back. He just loses the leverage and the full range of motion. He loses it. Does that make sense? Okay? The arm's already spent. If it's way down here, he can use his back muscles to pull it back. But if it's up here, he cannot. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bone to blade. Do not hit. Number one mistake with beginners. They hit this thing. I mean, you just killed yourself. I act like my arm is a magnet, and I magnetize myself to the blade. And then I just press. I hit again. Nothing I do is passive. I don't block, I don't parry, I don't disarm. I hit, cut. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get there, and I'll show you the finish. Anybody want to see it again slowly?
Sir.
1, 2, 3, 4. Watch. I call this the duck grip. Whack, whack. Whack, whack. Now, 2 motions. I press and pull. Press and pull. Anybody want to see it again? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give it a shot, guys. We'll make this mistake too. When they do any kind of disarm, I don't care which one it is, they disarm away. They're putting it away. They're trying to knock it way out there. Let's say it's just a quick eject what I'm doing with the knife. What I do with the knife, I should be able to do with the stick, right? So it goes here, I hit here. See, there's the quick eject, and then they go, and they just get the stick to their friend. Now watch. Everything is in it. Everything. Everything is disarmed into the structure. Does that make sense? Because by disarming it into the structure, that's how you're going to get your next shots. So the knife should go into you. Blooper.
It wasn't on film.
That's called the Yodano knife. Yodano really means fake in Tagalog. Yodano means fake. In Chinese martial arts, it's Mansa. It means garbage hand. Watch. No. He looks at it, looks. Mansa. Garbage hand. All right, watch. So, I cut. I step. I cover. I disarm. The spine of my blade lifts his arm and I slide this through. If you notice, there was another cut. I step on this foot to secure it. That's the next part of this. See, I just look at my clock, look. Okay, we got time. We got time to show you the rest. Watch again. 1, 2, 3, brachioplex. Turn it on the way out. Pop it again for good measure. It could be his birthday. Okay. From here, I lift it, and as I slide the arm, I cut the bicep. Secure the foot. We're going to stop here, and I'm going to show you what else to do. Number one mistake with this lock. They go to the shoulder. Go ahead. Elbow. I point my finger to the ground. Go ahead. The energy flow is to the ground. Let me show you some magic tricks real quick. Come here, let me use you. Okay? So watch. I grab, go ahead, pocket knuckles. I grab 2 fingers. I'm going to close my fist. I'm going to try to put him to the ground. I'm going to look up to the sky. Watch what happens. Let me prove it to you. Come here, sir. I want you to push my hand down and help me take this boy to the ground. Ready, go. Nothing. Now watch. I point my finger. I point to the ground. I look to the ground. Energy flow. Energy is a real thing. You can call it cheeky. You can make it sound so mystical and sell, snake oil as much as you want. Who knows why it works? We just know it does. Let me show you one more just to make you a believer. First time meeting you today, sir. Come here. Don't pull a knife on me. No. Okay, so he sticks his arms out. I try to push them down. He does not let me. Don't let me. Don't let me. Oh, he's strong. All right, don't move. I rub twice. Don't let me.
Wait, what?
Who wants to He sticks his arms out. He does not let me. Yo! Watch. I rub twice. Energy flow is true. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop it, lift it, cut it. The finger points down. As long as that finger's pointing down, he'll never lift me. He will never, ever lift me. Get there. And I'm going to show you the finish. We'll see it one more time?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I cut. Cut and cover. Thrust. Pop it out. Lift and thread. Secure. Any questions? Watch it again. I cut. I cut and cover. Grab the thumb, pop the disorder. Lift, thread, cut. You're there. Now, I'm in my deep stance. I have the foot secure. I'm going to basically a traditional martial arts, turn horse stance, right? Okay? So I'm here. Popped it out, lift, cover, bang. I turn in horse stance. As I do, I club the back of his neck. See it? The term for that is Puter Kapala. Puter Kapala means to turn the skull. Okay? Watch it again. I cut and cover. Pop the disarm, lift, thread and cut. Secure. Step in your horse stance, club the back of the neck. Knee control, knee to belly. And you can do whatever you want to do from there. I can just grab his fingers and go, what was you doing? Right? Not really. The thing with this is watch. He does number 1, I move. The number 2 comes, see, I hit the head here. See this sort, see the lift and the punch to the ear? There's your club, there's your hit. Everything we do with the blade, we should duplicate empty hands. The exact same motion I did with the blade. Watch, I cut and cover and thrust, disarm, lift and cut. I should be able to do empty hand. I move, right? I want to hit this and cover and punch. See? Bone to blade. Instead of the knife, my fingers. See the finger jab directly? Lift it, thread it, punch it. Bolo punch. We'll do that in the Dirty Boxing program tomorrow. Step with the horse stance, hammer, club down. Hammer fist, the nose, punch the jaw, stomp the jaw, walk away. Just break the fist, break the wrist, walk away. Huh? There's our with the blade, one more time. Cut and cover, thrust. Pop it, lift it, cut it. Oh, it is cave, sorry. Step and move, cutting. No transitionary motion with the blade that you ever need to learn. This is it. The one I'm about to show you, I've used in combat. It worked. Okay? So, everybody hold the blade out. Okay? This top figure, okay, goes around the blade here. What's funny about this, I have to give credit where credit's due, and what's really great is that I communicate with him now. And he was a childhood hero of mine, but his name was Robert Boosie. And he taught ninjutsu, actually. Great martial artist. When I used to watch the old VHS tapes in the early 90s, I used to want his intensity. But he showed this then, and my mind retained it from the early 90s. And then later, because I practiced it over the years so much, when I was in pain, under distress, in the midst of chaos, I pulled it off. So it's only what I teach now. I practice the other ones, but it's only what I teach you. If you want to learn other ones, go seek it on your own. But I've had my life on the line and used it, so that's why I give it to my students. Watch. Hold it. Figure grip, right? Watch. 1, 2. See, I kind of, yeah. Follow me? Okay, so watch. I cut. Cut and cover, thrust. Pop it, thrust again, lift, thread, cut. Bang if I wanted it. Club. Thrust. Thrust. To finish it. That's the last part of the puzzle. Get at it.